What's up everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Shawn GILL CPA with Neutron Tax. In today's video, I'm going to talk about how you can recover your important tax documents from the IRS. I'm talking W-2s, I'm talking 1099s. So the first thing is to not lose them in the first place. I promise you, if you can just do that for the future, you will be so much better off because this process is very annoying and frustrating. So first tip here is just keep your tax records digitally on your computer. These days you can scan everything right with your phone, with a photo. You will be much better off for the future. Now, if you're in a position where you did not do this originally and you need your tax documents, maybe you haven't filed taxes in years and now you decided you're finally going to go to someone and get it filed, or you're going to file it yourself, or maybe something happened where you forgot a document from the past, or you found out about one, or maybe you're even in trouble from the IRS and you need a document that you don't have anymore. This is what you can do. Step one, the preferable step outside of just keeping them originally, is to reach out to the original issuers of the documents and see if they can issue you them again once more. Just a copy. So this applies for W-2s and this applies for 1099s. So let's say you haven't done your taxes in 3 years and you need to get your W-2s for 3 years. Maybe you worked at 2-3 different companies, that in a year, 3 years ago. The simplest way would be to reach out to the HR department of those companies and tell them why you need a copy of your W-2 again. They should be able to give you another copy. They should have it in their payroll records and they can furnish that to you. Same with 1099s. If you worked for multiple companies that issued you 1099s, they should have it in their records and should be able to issue you another copy without doing anything special. That is the preferred solution. And the same goes for investments where they issue you 1099, so 1099 dividends, interests, comps, all of that stuff, 1099 NECs, 1098s for mortgage interest, 1099s for tuition, everything. If you can't do that, and sometimes this is a big problem for people, right? I see this all the time. People haven't filed in 4 years. They decide they finally want to file. Each year they worked 2 or 3 different W-2 jobs. They had a side hustle that had a 1099. They worked for someone else that had a 1099, and they just have all these documents and they can't track them down, and they can't contact every single H&R or HR department, or the department is not willing to get back to them or ignoring them, whatever it may be. This is your second option. Second option is to request the transcripts from the IRS. So you can go online to the IRS website, just type in transcripts or get transcripts, and you can online digitally request transcripts for the last few years. They don't go back fully online to 3 to 4 years back. Sometimes they can go more. They can go up to 6, 7, 8. They definitely don't go back more than that, which at that point there's a different process which I will talk about. But that's step one, is you can request it online and then you can get them digitally. If you're not comfortable getting them digitally, you can also request them online at the IRS website to have them mailed to you. So that's essentially step two. Step three is you may have to file form 4506 or a variant of 4506, the 4506-T or 4506-EZ, which is a written form that requests your transcripts for things that are further than 8 years back. You'll tell them which years you want, sign it, mail it in, and then they will mail you the transcripts for those years. Now, the reason getting the transcripts from the IRS is not favorable as compared to just having the original document or having the HR department issue the original document back to you is because they redact a lot of information. So if you present it to a tax preparer or tax professional, it's going to have your EIN for each company blocked out to only show the last 4. It's going to do the same thing with your social, and you need those things to file your tax return. So sometimes you can find the EIN for certain companies on Google. Sometimes you can't. You need them to file tax returns digitally. You can get around this sometimes with paper filing, but the full amount of data is on the original documents and on the digital version of the documents. It's not on the transcripts. A transcript is essentially a report that just lists some of the basic data that was on those documents that we're talking about, but doesn't actually give you a copy of the document. The copy is far superior. That's why I was saying earlier, don't lose it or get it from an HR department if you can. And now the third key step here, once you've, if you haven't been able to get the transcripts from the HR or your own records, and then you followed step 2 and you've gotten it from the IRS, step 3. So the IRS's version of the transcripts for any kind of withholding on your W-2s and other 1099s where they withheld tax, it's only going to have the federal withholdings, which means if you had state withholdings, which you most likely did, it's not going to show there. You're going to have to contact the state that you lived in or worked in when you had that W-2 or that 1099 issued. If it's a certain type of 1099, perhaps a 1099-R, where they issued you distributions from 401ks and IRAs and things like that, you're going to have to reach out to that state for your state transcripts. And each state has its own process, but most states will let you call in or submit a form to get them mailed to you. The IRS also lets you call in if you're not comfortable doing the online application for the transcripts and receiving them online or via mail. You can call in, and sometimes they'll give you the information over the phone or issue a mailing notice to you via you doing a phone call. But so then you'll have to get the state notices or the state transcripts for each state. So if you had a W-2 or 2 W-2s, and each W-2 you lived in 2-3 different states, this is going to get to become a long process, which goes back to my first point: don't lose these in the first place. And then to my second point, which is get it from the HR department if you can, because if you get the original documents, they do show which state they had withholdings in and how much that withholding was. So if you can get the original W-2 and the original 1099, that'll have all the information, and you won't have to request transcripts from all these different jurisdictions, because they can take weeks or months to issue these things. Minimum weeks. Never seen it quicker than 2 to 3 weeks. So that is how you get your tax transcripts from the IRS or your state, or recover your original document. Feel free to Google this too for your state. That's the easiest way to really find out their exact process. And if you have your tax transcripts or your original documents and you need to file old, outdated tax returns, you can schedule a call with me at the link in the description below. We can talk about your tax situation. I can give you a quote for our fees to help you out with that project, and we can take care of that for you. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, like, subscribe, leave a comment. I respond to all our comments, and I will catch you in the next video. Peace. So that was the end of this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, leave a comment. It helps me grow the channel. If you need help with your taxes, you can book a call with me directly at the link below in the description, and you can also sign up for our email list. We only send out an email about once a month, and that's everything I need to tell you. So I will see you guys in the next video. I'm out. Peace. Have a good day. Appreciate the views.